Every December, people say next year will be different. But if your nervous system is still wired for last year's pattern, you don't get a new year. You get a new number on that same loop. See, tomorrow is 2026. And the question isn't, will it be different? The question is, what will your next 5 seconds be when your life hits you the same way? See, today, we're going to talk about how to walk into 2026 with a different 5-second reflex, not a different fantasy. If this lands in your chest, there's a 7-minute reset link in my bio and at rebuilddad.com/reset. So your nervous system can practice the new year, new 5-second thing for real. Let's be honest. How many Januaries have you said, this year I'll stop texting them? This year I'll set boundaries. This year I'll stop shrinking. And then by February, you're back in the same loop, the same scenes. That's not because you didn't want it. It's because your nervous system didn't agree yet. Most resolutions are written with our head brain only. I'll go to the gym. I'll cut them off. I'll speak up next time. But your heart brain and your gut brain still think staying in old patterns is safer. So when the trigger hits, your 5-second reflex runs last year's move. 2026 is not about bullying your body into new goals. It's about rewiring your body, what it does in those first 5 seconds when it gets scared. Before you write 2026, you need to know what your 3 brains thought about in 2025. See, your head brain is telling a story. This year was a mess, a lesson, a blur. It remembers events and narratives. And then your heart brain, it remembers emotions. I'm tired, I'm hurt, I'm proud of myself for still being here. But it remembers the emotional climate. Then you have your gut brain. See, we survived by doing X. People pleasing, chasing, drinking, napping, numbing. It remembers what kept you safe enough. If your gut brain believes we only survived this year by overworking, over-explaining, overreaching, it will fight you every time you try to do less than that in 2026. So instead of asking, what's my resolution, ask, what did my nervous system learn about how to survive 2025? That answer will tell you which 5 seconds you actually need to change. Because here's the part nobody likes to say out loud. 2026 will come with pretty much the same triggers. People who don't text back, family pressure and comments, lonely weekends, and loud holidays, bills, emails, responsibility, your own self-talk. See, the difference won't be fewer triggers. The difference will be what your body does in those first 5 seconds after the hit. That's good news because you don't need to rearrange the whole universe. You just need to retrain a handful of reflexes. Instead of asking, who is my future self, try this. Who is my 5-second self in 2026? See, when the ex texts you, or the kids slam the door, or the parents judge you, the loneliness hits, that new opportunity scares you. Who do you become in that moment? Right now, your 5-second self might be the fighter, the fixer, the fawner, the freezer. In 2026, your 5-second self can still feel scared and still choose a different move. You see, that's the identity shift that actually sticks. So let's make this extremely practical. Instead of 50 resolutions, I want you to craft one declaration. In 2026, when I get triggered, my first 5 seconds will look like fill in the blank instead of fill in the blank. Think about that for a moment. When I get triggered, my first 5 seconds will be like blank instead of blank. Fill that in with something small and very specific. Because in 2026, when I feel abandoned, my first 5 seconds will look like a hand on my chest, one breath, one text to a safe person, instead of begging the person who left to come back. In 2026, when someone disrespects me, my first 5 seconds will look like I need a second and step away, instead of explaining myself to death. In 2026, when loneliness hits at night, my first 5 seconds will look like put the phone down, sit up, and breathe, instead of doom scrolling and texting my ex. You're not promising you'll never feel scared, never feel lonely, never feel triggered. You're promising that your 5 second self will get one new move. See, there's a reason a lot of manifestation and vision boards and New Year, New Me hype falls apart by March. If your nervous system doesn't feel safe being the person on your vision board, it will sabotage you quietly. You'll forget to replay the healthy person. You'll procrastinate on the opportunity. You'll go back to what feels familiar, back over there. Not because you're broken, but because your gut brain equates familiar with safe. So in 2026, instead of forcing a new you, think, I'm training my nervous system to believe that the new me is safe to be. And that training happens in 5 second reps. So before we close, do this with me. Picture yourself from January 2025, the version of you who didn't know what was coming this year. What did you survive this year? What did you surprise yourself? Or where did you surprise yourself? What do you never want to repeat again? And then tell that version of you, we're not fixing everything overnight. No, we're not. We're just changing our 5 seconds. And your nervous system will respond better to small, believable shifts than these grand speeches. Tomorrow is 2026, and your next 5 seconds are the only place you can meet it. So here's what I recommend we do with the last hours of this year. Don't write 20 resolutions your body won't keep. Give your nervous system one experience of what a different 5 seconds feels like. Go to rebuilddad.com/reset or hit the link in the bio that says 7-minute reset. In that session, we take you on a real trigger, the one you know follows you into 2026, and walk your nervous system through 7 minutes of practice. So your 5 second reflex has a new script before the year even starts. You don't need a new year, a new you speech. You need a nervous system that believes the new 5 seconds are possible. Because tomorrow is 2026. You're going into the same world, the same people, but with a new 5 seconds. And that's where your new year actually begins.
This is Rebuild Dad.